Here we are again, so soon. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's a nice deep breath to settle in. So we may have this open time between Trudie and Tanja talks, which I really like that little name. I think it's a beautiful
Yeah.
name for us to share. We've known each other longer than this lifetime. And I can't even recall how I originally found you per se, but yeah, it's been a journey. And I know that we're all going through a journey right now. And so honor yourself on that path that you are still here in this, what some may say chaotic times, but just know chaos is energy. And it's
Mhm.
always most chaotic before great change. Yeah. And be the eye of the storm, be the observer. Hello, Shay, my love. Be the one that observes that which is going on so that you don't become entwined in it, wrapped in it, divided by choosing a side of it. And yeah, we wanted to tap into that a bit today. There's been a lot of news coming out lately about different
Mm.
things. And I think we should tap on that a bit and maybe I'll explain a little bit. Um, First, Trudy, do tell us how you are today. And what time is it there? It's like 10 p.m.
It has just gone 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Yeah. And where are you in the world?
I am in the UK.
Yeah.
Cannot
Yeah.
tell by my accent, so some people get it confused with Australian. I am not Australian. I I am from the UK. Um, Small but mighty. Um, so before we went live, I was just sat, just closing my eyes and asking spirit what they wanted us to kind of bring forward, and it was really an extension of what we were talking about the other day, the
Yeah.
subject of, coming back to the soul, the subject of what some spaces and communities refer to as NPCs, reptilian energies, and things like that, dark matter, and how these, let's call them concepts, can really activate fear in some people. And I feel like spirit really want us to have these discussions, because whilst these feelings are valid, let's communicate about them so that we can kind of dissolve those feelings of fear. Because if we're not communicating about them in ways that are helpful, then the fear isn't going to be helpful either. And they're not really allowing for our power to really be useful and to shine through, and for our souls to really shine through.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting. And because emotions are energy and motion, and let's just back roll even further for those that may be new to this material.
Mhm.
So, as I believe we're all souls having a human experience, because energy cannot be created or destroyed. And I know this in my heart.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that we're all so connected that we all really want the same things as human beings. We want to be able to take care of ourselves, our loved ones, and lead a peaceful and joyous life. We want to make sure we have food, shelter, and we contribute. For that is a, and we live in harmony with nature. We've
Mm.
gone away from our natural state of being, and considering everything you eat, drink, and breathe, and the sunshine that grows your food that you eat, nature is very important for us. And that bird song is a sign that things are okay. The birds are singing all is well. And
Mm.
so, and quite often, animals will reflect for us what's happening in the greater whole. Um, Buffaloes will run into a storm instead of running from it because they know it's the easiest way to get through it. So we are here to hopefully help guide you through some chaotic times and realize that it's okay. You're going to be all right. You're going to be more than all right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And what is the opposite of fear? Sometimes it's unknown, like that unknown angst that can come up. And yeah, after going through personal development and then through, realizing that, oh, hey, I'm the common denominator in my life. I can't blame anybody else for what's going on for me. And then moving into more of that spiritual side, that aspect, and spirit means breath. So everybody's spiritual. And it's important that while we're here, we have this body is ours to enjoy. And this experience is meant to be done with the body, not without. So there's this whole mind, body, and spirit trifecta that once you have it balanced, it's pretty hard to push me off kilter these days. And I love it. And I'm grateful for it. Or if I am, it's like I catch myself and go, okay, what's really going on here right now? What am I feeling in my body? Is this a current energy, an older energy? Like, get self-inquisitive, and your breath is the very first thing that will help to relax the vagus nerve. And it is a gift. And every time you breathe, you're being spirit. The universe grows and contracts just like the breath. And so you are the micro version of the universe. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Trudie.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to remember that. And actually what's coming through is that makes the chaos fun. Doesn't the chaos get to be actually fun and playful? And it's like a playground of sorts. And actually we get to choose how we play with the chaos. And and it's that they're quite literally showing me like it's like a merry-go-round. You can decide whether you get on it with your left foot or your right foot, or whether you jump on it with 2 feet. Either way, you're going to spin around and you're going to have fun getting dizzy and decide whether you jump off of it and land on your bum or on 2 feet. And it's completely up to you how you decide to make the best out of that really spinny, chaotic feeling. Either way, you're going to be absolutely fun and fine, and you're going to learn something about it in the process, because chaos is creativity.
Yeah.
It cannot be anything else but that.
Well, we could look at
because it has to evolve.
childbirth. Is it? It is all roses and, oh, we're having such a good time. There's some, there's some chaos there. There's some action happening. And, certain activities may not go quite as planned. And that's part of the process. So yeah, absolutely. And I know that what we perceive to be our reality in the world and what's being shown to us online or what's being said, we have to really decide, is that true for me? Do I know that's really happening? Or is that being portrayed to be happening? Or is this being shown to distract me, take my energy, tug on my heartstrings? We were never meant to save the world. We were always meant to be in common unity with the community and care for each other that way, because that is manageable for a soul in a human body. And that helps support everyone of all ages. So I invite you to just keep reminding yourself of that. Do I need to be watching this? Do I need to participate? Do I need to comment and, share my outrage over it? And it's okay if you do, that's all right too. But eventually one does pull back. So I went through the entire truther community. It is one perspective of this show, so to speak, of the chaos going on in the world as an entirely. And it was very interesting to witness how it too is, in a way, a psyop. Follow me, do this. Oh, we are, there's a whole regiment around it and a way of looking at things and decoding things. And, oh, this is what this means. And people really get caught up in that, and it shows you a new perspective. Wonderful. Is it got you waiting for somebody outside of yourself to make a change in the world? Yeah. Or could you be the change you wish to see in the world? That's what we're inviting you to do. Work on your own emotions, your own energy. What can you control? What can you do versus What are you waiting for? That waiting is painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It I've I'm
I
hearing
know.
multiple voices, so bear with me because it's getting really strong and I can feel it coming at the back of my neck. Um, it's painful if we choose it to be, and many realize that a part of our soul contract is in choosing it to be. Some have chosen it to be because we are teaching others
Mm,
the concept of pain, the consequence of pain, and through the understanding of pain, that there is the opposite of pain. But there also, you reminded me of a conversation that Mother Earth had with me recently,
mhm,
which was, she said, I do not need saving. Humans believe I need saving. I do not need saving. Humans believe I need saving because they feel that they need to make themselves feel better.
mm.
They need to martyr themselves. But look at how I grow. Look at how I evolve. Look at how I rejuvenate. Look at how I adapt and flow.
Nothing stays stagnant.
Mm,
Nothing. It can't. It's energy's moving, even if it looks solid, it's not. Yeah,
mm.
yeah.
Like humans do what they do to Mother Earth. Mother Earth does not need to punish humans in order to remain abundant. She doesn't need to hurt humans in order to shelter and to continue to shelter humans and say, come to me, you are loved, you are
Mm,
supported, you are nourished, you are nurtured. She is always asking for their return, even though they continue to pollute her waters, to chop down her trees. She will continue to find a way to seed herself and grow her trees. She does not need to ask for permission from humans who take up shelter in her home in order to do so.
beautiful. Think about that dandelion that grows to the sidewalk crack.
Ah, yes.
Or you
Yeah.
see those you see trees sometimes that come up the metal post of a signpost. Like,
Mm,
nature will always take over if you leave a building abandoned, so to speak. Yeah, if your energy leaves a property, it will take over. That's just how it is. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And what would you say around some of the storms, the earthquakes? This is her adjusting her energy?
Yeah.
Mm.
She's saying that's simply me exercising my vocal chakra and letting you know that I am here. It isn't a punishment. I am not chastising you. I am I am simply rearranging my kitchen.
Yeah, all the things under the rainforest. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And as she says that, it reminds me of like when we like arrange something in our home, we might perceive it as something small. Oh, that's not going to make a massive difference to our energy. When in actual fact, it does.
Absolutely. That's why cleaning and purging and moving your things around, right?
Yes.
It
Yes.
feels
The day after you might get a sell or a compliment, like something happens and you're like, oh, I feel changed. I feel brighter. It's like, don't underestimate those those little things that you do.
yes, absolutely. Oh, I love that. Yeah, and even living in harmony with nature, and it is returning. So for me especially, I love to, certain any like fluids, or now I got in trouble for feeding the birds at my house, but I still do on the street a little bit. So but
Well,
the
I'm hearing
crows, right?
continue.
I would rather that it goes in and is used rather than going into a green bin or landfill. I would rather be able to give back. So even coffee grounds going back into the earth. I mean, we're really meant. Oh, okay. So when there used to be something called the red tent that women would go into to be with women for the duration of their period, and they would dig a hole and give to earth. And they would
Oh,
all
yeah.
hang out and sit around and just be women and get to have that connection and communication during that release of the body. And that's what it is. It's like Mother Nature as a release, very similar, but then giving that back. So we've strayed so far from that natural way of being. Now, I'm not saying to go directly back to that, that may take some time.
Yeah.
But with that thought in mind around giving back to Mother Nature, even as a human being, I don't want to be buried in a casket. Thank you. I don't want to be
Mm.
boxed in. That to me is not a natural way. So, as Egyptians did with the embalming, is a much more beautiful way. And there was some beautiful tombs and those meant things, but I like the idea of going back right into nature. It could be a simple, it could be cremation, like the Vikings did out on the water and burn it up. Like there's many different
Mm.
ways to get back to nature in that way. And even spreading ashes is a beautiful way. It's a little bit different way than burying directly in the ground as it used to be done, right? They would dig a grave and the body would go in the grave and
Mm.
disintegrate and go back to Mother Nature. Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
the that's the full cycle of harmony anyway.
Yeah, it's just we're just returning from where we came from. It's just
Yeah.
the cycle of life. That's all it is. And it's interesting that you brought that up, because this morning I had the thought, and it was almost as if it appeared from nowhere, but nothing appears from nowhere because nowhere is somewhere. Um, I literally had the thought, send me back to the sea. Like when I die,
Mhm.
send me back to the sea.
Yeah.
That's that is where I will go. That is where I will eventually go. And my children now are getting to that age where they're very curious about death
Yes.
and what happens, and the concept of heaven and hell, and which is quite a fun conversation. You can make it a really curious, fun conversation, which I think is lovely, because it's a certainty. So if we can strip all of the fear away,
Yeah.
then it means we can live freely.
Absolutely. And even making so there is some conversations around getting so comfortable with death that you imagine yourself going through the process of dying, because
Yeah,
then you will truly live. If you make peace with
that's
death,
true. Yeah,
then you can truly live. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Isn't that
yeah,
beautiful? Absolutely. So
yeah,
I've done that a few times where I've just lied there, and it's that surrender. I can feel it. It's like, just let go. What are you hanging on for? So it's another type of surrender.
I've just had a light. You've given me a light bulb moment.
How so?
So I'm just like
I love your
piecing
eyes.
it together. Well, fuck a damn duck. So I say every time I get when I get very like bouncy in my body when I like So as you know, we're a family of epileptics, right?
Oh, yes.
I'm epileptic, Evie's epileptic, Lucille was epileptic, Oliver's epileptic. Anyway, epilepsy means like persecution of the self. Well, fuck the whole persecution of the self. Like I've been for ages trying to figure out, okay, maybe it's not about persecution, maybe it means going into the self. And epilepsy is actually where we're trying to switch off from the conditional self, go
Mm,
within the self. When you said practicing, like visualizing death,
yeah.
maybe the seizure process, and I've never seen it as a process before, the seizure process is like a semi-death, and my whole crown is tingling, is basically like a semi-death because
Yes.
you're going offline.
Yes.
So
Wow.
that in that brief temporary moment, you are being kind of charged up to when you've eventually come back, you are like free of the concept that going offline, dying is scary.
Right.
Because something that my kids and me, like, there's still a little bit of fear there, is we don't know when it's going to happen. Like each
Right.
time you're scared, you don't know when you're going to fit, when you're going to have a seizure. It's the unknown. Like I could be talking to you and all of a sudden I'm like, bye. It's just, you're just
Right.
done.
Yeah.
And so in our family we try and use humor a lot.
Yeah.
But that's the gift of having it. We've learned to use humor as a way of connection. So I'm just wondering, okay, were we given these things that the 3D world considers a physical mental illness as a way of considering death as an absolute liberation, an absolute, except we get to practice it in small forms, in bite-sized pieces before the actual permanent
Yeah.
physical aspect of it.
There's something more to that as well, I believe. I think you're gonna unpack more. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got and even sharing that story on how you even deal with it, making it more public if the kids are willing to share, but even you just sharing more about it. Yeah, and making it not such a stigma because it shouldn't be.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, because you know, what one of the positives about, say, a social platform like TikTok, lots of people are sharing about their conditions because they want that connection.
yeah,
They want to stop, um, the stigma around certain illnesses being kind of, it has to be hidden.
right.
But you look at the comment section and it's that should be private.
Interesting.
Why? Or oh, you're faking it. Why are they back to normal so quickly? Why are they healed so quickly?
But that's that judgment
Which,
piece that we also wanted to talk about
so it's like
today.
you're either like you're either not healed enough,
Yeah,
or you're not ill enough.
yeah, yeah.
And it's really quite interesting to see how people respond
Mhm.
to,
Are they
yeah.
responding or are they reacting? They're reacting to something triggered within them around that. Yeah,
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 because like though we're like a house of epileptics, it's all quite different.
Yes.
It's all none of us are the same, and I think again that's another teachable, valuable lesson that I am continuously curious about.
Yes.
And I'm actually a massive lesson for me was giving myself the permission slip to be fascinated by it.
Yeah.
And that was something that my spirit guide Sunny like helped me to gravitate towards, to go from judgment and I need to fix this because this is a problem,
Yeah.
because the 3D world sees it as a problem and a block to being spiritually evolved,
Mm, mm,
to you
mm.
know what, let's be curious about this, let's be let's explore it, let's see this as a portal of expansion rather than you have this problem so you're blocked, you're less spiritual, you're less evolved because you have something that's considered as a physical impairment.
When in fact, I believe the opposite is true.
Ooh, tell me,
You
tell me,
know,
tell me.
well, you did share with me in private about how when you go offline, you'd mentioned your guides had said that that was the only way to give you the upgrade that you were supposed to get, right?
Oh, yeah. And I remember, and this was before I was diagnosed, from about the age of 6, 7. My kids now would go 6, 7. I would go into these absence seizures. I love that, not a block and opening.
Yeah.
And although I was still conscious, it was like being in a bubble. And if I had a pen in my hand, I remember one time, and I've spoken about it quite frequently, I wrote, "Life is beautiful. I am beautiful. The world is beautiful." And I remember my maths teacher coming over, and he picked up the piece of paper, looked at it, and I noticed the confused look on his face, and he put it down, and I think he didn't say anything because of the content, because of what I'd written, and he just said, "Get back on with your maths." But I was having a,
Yeah.
I mean, I was channeling through an absence seizure. But
Mhm.
then I think, could you call it an absence seizure?
Mm. And quite often, so then that
Yeah.
brings in, you know how some people check out? They're with you, they're there, but they're
Mm.
not hearing you. My brother was like that as a when I was a kid, like you had to almost go over and shake him because he
Yeah.
was not in this world right now. So it's very similar in that aspect. So is that what you
Yeah.
were calling absent in a way?
Yeah, that's what they call absence or focal seizures.
Right. Oh,
And they classify it as, it's not the same as a daydream. A daydream, if someone was to say your name, you'd wake up. But
yeah.
um
Absent from
um
here, present elsewhere, Shay said.
oh, I was definitely present, like, so, but I didn't know what that elsewhere was. It was much better than where I was
Yeah.
meant to be. um and like as I got older, the channeling bit stopped, but the channeling bit stopped because the bullying, the conditioning increased,
Mm,
and that was when the diagnosis came, and all of that malarkey, which is
I like that word, malarkey. A good
um,
word.
which is interesting. So, the block per se wasn't the, like, the checking out, the, what people would call the epilepsy or the seizure. It was
Yeah,
the people's perception. It was
yeah,
like the noise that surrounded it.
yeah, absolutely. And let's go back to that bit and that I think you have a lot more to unpack about that and even share with your
Mm.
kids. So I
Yeah,
wonder if they can
especially
actually
using.
focus on what does it feel like to go through that process, right? So if they put themselves through it, if they can, as we would with death, take the same and put it with the epilepsy and see if
Mm.
that actually might change or shift it. so that maybe they can even catch it before it happens and resolve whatever's going on inside and express it in a different way. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Because there's definitely a correlation between spiritual people and epilepsy.
Yeah.
I did a bit of a Google search once. That many spiritual, creative musicians as well have had seizures. So Prince was one.
Mm.
He had seizures. A few others as well, but uh, Evie, because of the nature of her, she would be a
Yeah.
good one to do that with, because she has epileptic seizures and non-epileptic type seizures.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she can feel them coming on, and she can not feel them coming on.
Mm.
The ones
Mm.
that she doesn't, the ones that she does feel coming on, we've got kind of 30 seconds between her sensing them and then just a drop to the floor.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's all in the upper chakras
Mm.
that she senses it, which tells me everything, really.
Right. That she's being taken out to be upgraded, so to speak, or yeah.
Yeah,
Very.
because whereas it used to be triggered by anxiety, and that anxiety is often because she's concerned about other people.
Right.
Now it's the next trigger is, oh, I'm really, really excited. So my perception as a mum is, oh, does she feel that excitement actually is safe to exist?
Ah,
Are we censoring the excitement?
right. Yeah.
So
If
she's checking out because she doesn't feel the excitement is safe to exist.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, Evie, we love you. Such a gift. Oh, well, yes, I look forward to hearing more about that because I believe even for like schizophrenia,
Mm.
walking two worlds, right? And
Oh my
and
gosh, yeah.
yeah, it's got to be so confusing. So these things that many people, even if you spoke spiritually, you're speaking another, many people still can't understand what you're saying, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But like we're so free compared to the way it was because you would actually be put in a home and medicated and locked up for your perspective.
Yeah. Oh,
And
definitely.
yeah, and so along with these chaotic times, there's some great teachings and openings around, we all have gifts. We're all spiritual. You're not broken. You don't need fixing. Even with the epilepsy, you're right. It doesn't need fixing. It needs to be
Yeah.
honored. It needs to be honored for what it is and what it is teaching. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is, I have to admit, it's taken me a long time to get to the point where actually I don't need to kind of get rid of it.
Yeah.
And I think I only got to that point, ironically, when I had a seizure in the bath 2 years ago.
Wow.
And my Lucia found me, um, managed to like take my head out the water.
Yeah.
And after that, it was like, well, they definitely did a massive upgrade on that one during that
Right.
one, because before that, I was like, yay, I've gone nearly 2 years completely seizure free, no medications, everything's a okay. And then I had that massive one, but then after that, I was like, you know what? I don't give a shit.
Right.
I really don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It because I looked at her and it was like we'd suddenly become everything I'd always wanted us to be. Um,
And she was called in to help you. She doesn't know why, but yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's super beautiful. It's interesting that you say that because it gives me a good point to have a conversation with my daughter, Jade, about her scoliosis in her back. Yeah. Yeah. And I've told her, yeah, broken. You don't need to be fixed. You need to decide, yeah, what you're willing to let go of and shift and change.
Mm.
Yeah, and she's got a very big energy that is squished into this poor human body. Can be challenging for some. Yeah, yeah. So go
I'm
ahead.
trying to think how to word it, but the way that they're showing it to me is her mouth in place of her spine, like she is to use her mouth.
Yeah,
It's almost like as human beings, we spend so much time trying to fix the things that are broken or perceived as broken without instead of focusing on the things that are already whole and that
yes.
already work absolutely perfectly.
So we're focusing on what is negative within us that we would like to see healed, fixed, and
Yes.
therefore we're bringing more of it about in that way. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
She already has the activist's voice, the activist just act. She is the activist. Use it. She already has a spine. She is the voice to use it.
There we go. Yeah, and she has been more and more. So yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for that. And let's then talk about what is so Jade used to always also be worried about what others thought of her. And she felt like everyone was looking at her, even though they weren't. But that was
Yeah.
what she felt. And I had to honor that feeling. And it was something she had to work through for herself, and everything that's gone on. I've allowed her to work through. I didn't try and fix it. Yeah, that's why the blind can hear. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. And it activates, yeah, and we're all coming on with like perception of energies, and just feeling my own energy is completely amplified at this point where I'm like I'm paying attention to more about, well, how does my body feel right now, right? It's something that becomes more in cohesion, and it almost second nature, that one doesn't have to think about it anymore, it just is. Yeah, to not be in the head so much. But there, let's go back to say epilepsy, or the judgment around human challenges per se. Let's
Mm.
call it a challenge or a gift that
Yeah.
happens to help us realize something about ourselves, and the judgment of others, especially online. And we were also discussing in the spiritual space, so that which you judge in somebody else, if you are triggered by it, possibly shows something for you to look at within self, because
Yeah.
nobody can expect to control everyone's experience. A lot of the times with our adventures that we do, I always say, don't have expectations, just wonder what magic will unfold.
Mm.
Because as soon as you set up, it's going to be like this, and this is going to happen, and this should happen. You're setting yourself up for disappointment. A lot of people do this with vacations. Oh, it's going to be so amazing. We're going to do this, and we've got all this planned, and it never turns out as planned.
Yep.
But if you go in with no expectation and just wonder what magic will unfold, it becomes a very different space. And you get to connect deeper. You're more present because you're observing more. And you're really in a creation mode, which is what I love the most, and why I don't like to um, repeat patterns when I go somewhere. Like even Egypt, it's never the same twice. There's
Mm.
always there's always little shifts and changes which we bring in. But that judgment online and that judgment in the spiritual community is very strong. You need to be this way. I did a little video, 33 seconds or something, saying, shh, I have a secret for you. You're not broken. You don't need fixing. And you don't need to chase something to heal yourself. You don't need to go on a healing loop. Just be. Just be yourself. Yeah. And watch what magic can unfold just from that. Because as soon as you put somebody, say a guru, on a pedestal, and we're
Mm.
witnessing a lot of that right now in the mainstream,
Yep.
nobody needs a guru. That you do not give your power away to somebody else, for it is your power. It is for you to cultivate, for you to grow. Now, I'm not saying you can't have mirrors to reflect from beautiful spaces and you can't find insights, but it's remembering that that's your experience. And I have a girlfriend taking a course right now. And I said, this course is just to remind you what you already know. and how you would do it differently. And that's exactly what she's getting. So we can't, oh, this is going to, do this for me. Well, you already have that within you. It's going to be a nice reminder for you. And that's the beauty of those things. And even the lessons, some of the hardest lessons, right, are you don't see the beauty of it until afterward. So who am I to judge somebody else going through a tough lesson by judging me? And in the spiritual space, as we were having a conversation, and and I was so impressed. I did watch a video the other day out of the truther community that I haven't watched for years. And they were really bringing spirituality into it. And I was like, and quantum. And I was like, hey, look at you guys. But then also came in the word NPC, which many know is in the gaming community a non playable character, which is a function of the game to make you feel like more are there. And now many perceive that in this realm that we have a whole bunch of NPCs around us. Well, who's real and who's not? But you can't be here, even a clone can't be here without a fraction of a soul in it. And I know you have some words to say on this.
Yeah, so I trust what my guides give me completely. And they have told me that no one is an NPC because everybody chose to be here. And because everybody chose to be here, everybody has a valid participation, a valid influence. They are all contributing something to the evolution, expansion of humanity, and because of that, connection to this planet. Even if what you perceive it to be is negative, and even that which is negative will eventually turn into something positive. So you cannot call someone, label them, and it is a label, an NPC, because the moment you do that, you actually denigrate and you condition and you limit your own soul. You box in your own soul because you are creating a separation between another person and yourself, rather than saying or seeing or even considering how are we all as one, how are we all unified, how are we all seeking balance. And essentially it goes back to what you were saying right at the beginning. We all have a soul and we're all kind of seeking shelter, love, connection, nourishment, nurture. We all have these things kind of ingrained, built within us.
And we came in for the separation so that we could find right, find ourselves again and find that oneness and wholeness. And maybe, just maybe, even all the darkness on the planet, we all agreed to and knew about it. Maybe we'd never gone this dark before, right? When we look at the darkest things that are coming to the surface right now, if every soul is aware of what they're coming in for because they haven't had that experience, and some are like, okay, I'll go do that, and I'll go do that, and I'll go do that. And we agree because they haven't had that experience before. I'm not saying it's acceptable. I'm just saying it's another perspective of it. Yeah. And often we're so divided within ourselves to begin with. That's what I think is one of our biggest things to overcome is the division within ourselves, our judgment of self, our guilt and shame of self. And then when we have that within, we're projecting it out onto others because we're not willing to look at ourselves in that way. Why does that? So now for me, it's like, oh, why do I feel that right now? Where is that? So where's that coming from? So I get very curious, like you were saying, curiosity about the epilepsy. You get curious with self. And there's the freaking gold, is when
It
you
is.
realize that and you go, "Oh, oh, that's awesome." And so something that felt super negative, you can shift it like that. You can, and it gets easier and easier the more you exercise that muscle. Yeah, that curiosity muscle. And I can't count how many times, especially, having been in the public space and other parents and kids, like I've been in this community for a long time and seeing people like wig out and lose their shit. Well, now I go to compassion. Ooh,
Mm,
yeah. Wow, they must be really, really full and tight if that's they got to do that in public, right? Like that's oh,
yeah.
my heart goes out to them. Or road rage. Road rage is one of those things that I find, or keyboard warriors. People are much happier to be a keyboard warrior than to say something in person, because once you're with the other energies and you're in connected in that way, you just can't. You get to a point
Yeah.
where you just can't. In fact, I've even said to people, "Hey, are you okay?" Right? And then right away the tears
Mhm.
will come because somebody's seeing them, and that's all they were looking for. Because even kids, when they're lashing out and screaming out, it's still getting them that attention that they're seeking. And so if they're not getting enough attention or giving themselves enough attention and love, then that's part of that lashing out. It doesn't need to be labeled. It doesn't need to be suppressed. It needs to be loved. Most people just need love. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. We're in a
exactly it.
beautiful, beautiful, chaotic point of, well, how do we resolve this? Love. Love yourself. Be kind to others. It doesn't mean you have to be nice, but be kind.
Mhm.
You can be firm and be kind. I don't like that word nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I like kind. Kind works for me, but nice, I'm like, nice. Nice girls. Be a nice girl.
Yeah, yeah, I'm kind. I'm not nice.
Yeah, because
Nice
sometimes,
kind of gives pushover energy, people pleaser, like
yeah,
no, no, no,
and
no, no.
I think we all went through that process of how do I make sure everyone around me is happy, especially when we had trauma as we were younger.
Oh gosh,
It
yeah.
on to hyper. I think there's many, actually, I believe a lot of spiritual people had the most trauma and have worked through the most in their lives to become who they are. Not play spiritual. That's not to be played. It's not a label to wear or a thing to do. Um, so many people believe that by going to, oh, I meditate every morning, I do sound bath, I do yoga. All these things are distractions from being spiritual. They could be utilized maybe one thing at a time, or movement of body, just fluid movement. What do your body feel like doing right now? A static dance. Put on that music and dance. Stretch, swim, whatever you're called to do can be done spiritually. It doesn't have to be a label that you then use as a hierarchy to make yourself better than others. That's yeah. So we're getting back to being basic human here. That to me is the most spiritual thing you can do.
Yeah. Because you start working with a spirit team, they will break down any type of hierarchy. I remember like the beginning, I thought spirituality was kind of order and the perfect human being, how to be like high vibrational all of the time, and it was no. It was okay. Why are you feeling angry? No, you will sit in your frustrations, and you will sit in your anger, and you will sit in your judgment, and you will question it, and
Yeah.
you won't meditate to try and not have any thoughts at all. You will sit in your thoughts, and you will sit in your feelings, and you won't budge until you've questioned them. And
Right?
it was hard work.
Yeah.
And this is what I try and get at. It's really freaking hard. It's emotionally taxing.
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. Absolutely, Shay. No, and this is one of those things that I've taken this time offline, and a lot of it was around, I do believe you don't need to be high vibe, but I do believe that you can choose to follow your joy more than look at things like it's a task. So dishes can be joyful. Cleaning can be joyful because you're doing it in a joyous way for self. Sometimes I'll sit there and go, okay, what do we want to do? We want to go outside and sit in the sun. Okay, I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
And just be. And you know, I was lying out there in the yard grounding the other morning with the blue light and just lying in my winter coat with my hood up. And it's wet and it's cold, but I'm warm. And I got all my hands and I'm just lying there. And I'm like, yeah, this is good right now. This is perfect. And just being and just
Yeah.
being okay with just being. Because quite often, especially as mothers, there's lots of things we should, or a business owner, I've got to do this and I'm on this schedule and I need to. So I really started to unbind and unwind from that because to me, especially as growing a business, I bootstrapped it. I am so no longer that person. And that's a whole nother topic that it will come up. But to not be in that energy of go, 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 because I didn't feel like I was being useful or productive unless I was doing something. And so I put myself into
Mm.
work. Or if when Jade, I put myself into Jade, right? It was always, but what about, and then I went into the me first movement. No, it's me first. I deal with me first. And then I'm so much better dealing with everybody else. So whether that was a walk or, don't look at my phone for a couple hours in the morning. So good. So nice. Such a good break. Or just going outside for a few minutes like I do right now and doing that bit of grounding in the morning. I'm like, that my body loves that. And so not saying it's for everyone, but my body loves it. My mind loves it. I'm like, all right, we like this. So make those little things that you like to do. Maybe even make a list and put it in a jar. And if you can't think of something and you have to be productive, pull something out of the jar. See what shows up for you. And another friend who used to throw cards on the ground to make choices about things, which I thought was interesting too, or tarot or pendulum, whatever you like to do to tap in and just be. So, and be with all those emotions. Yeah, absolutely. That's being human. And after
Yeah, I
all,
do.
yeah,
I do find it feels so much more authentically easier to have joy and fun when you don't suppress the negativity, when you just say, oh yeah, like I saw something earlier where the person just said, yeah, I feel sad, like no judgment, just nothing attached to it, just yeah, I feel sad, yeah, whatever, so what.
yeah,
And you find when you just respond to it in that way, before you know it, that feeling's just gone.
yes.
and
Uh,
and and you feel clearer, you feel easier.
right? It's like, and even if we look at emotions, energy, emotion, like the ocean doesn't think about, "Don't move, everybody, stay still."
Yeah.
But and like clouds in the sky, they move on by, right? Kinda like thoughts. If you have a thought, you don't have to attach to it and ruminate over it. The same goes
Yeah.
for the emotions. You can observe it and go, "Oh, wow, interesting, that's happening right now." That's probably the most funniest thing for some, especially Jade, that I say. Something will be going on, I'm like, "Hmm, interesting." I have much more of a neutral take on
Yeah.
things, and only in that, I'm not gonna let something grab my, like, "Oh, I have to go rescue it," or "I have to go fix
Mm.
it." Just let it be. So what's going on? Yeah, Jade definitely taught me that as she went through quite a big depression point, and that was
Mm.
showed me a lot that I'm not gonna put her on meds, I'm not taking her to the doctor over this. This is something I'm gonna let her go through. Yeah, and so we got through it. Yeah, just keep being the supportive, loving soul that you are, and no matter what somebody's going through, whether it's at work or play or home or out in public, you know, you don't have to always engage in what's going on out there, especially online these days.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Don't bring online in
Yeah.
line.
Right? Yeah, don't bring online in line, I like that. And do you have any other parting messages for today? Which are coming to the top of the hour.
Yeah. Just Spirit wants you to know that you're your own teacher, you're your own channel, you're your own medium, you're your own healer, you're your own lover, you're your own friend, you're your own cheerleader. Basically, you're your own everything. That doesn't mean to say that you cannot have those around you that you want, but essentially it's you are your hub of power, you are your hub of magic. And so center yourself. It's perfectly safe and okay and beautiful and majestic to center yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. You remind me of when I was visiting a friend and they had an 18-month-old girl, and I was teaching her how to hit the side of the bronze bowl I have, the Tibetan singing bowl I have.
Yeah.
It's got a mallet with it, and you can hit the side of it pretty hard, and it's okay. And then I was teaching her to say "Yay me" when she was getting it right, and then she's run around the house, "Yay me!" I'm like, "Yes, be your
Oh.
own best cheerleader. Cheer yourself on. Throw your hands in the air."
Mm,
Yeah, I love that. All kids should do that because
yeah.
my daughter used to always say, "Mom, look what I can do. Look what I can do." All
Oh,
right,
it's
cheer
yeah.
yourself on too. Yeah, yeah. You do not need anybody's approval to be you.
Oh gosh, no.
Be
No.
unapologetically you and show much love. Yeah,
Gorgeous.
yeah. All right, you guys. We love you. And until next time.
I'm loving this.
Yeah, we like to play TNT,
Yeah,
dynamite.
TNT. I don't know why I didn't think of that. But yeah, tea and tea. I love that. And I love tea. Like literally, I love tea. Oliver makes a great cup of tea. Anyway.
Awesome.
All
Okay, until next time, guys. Love you.
right.